Bukayo Saka has to be one of the most disrespected, loathed, and hated players in world football. If you remove real Arsenal fans, if you remove real England fans, all that is really left is disdain, frustration, anger, hate, a lot of lies as well surrounding this man. And I don't really get it. I don't understand it. Especially Arsenal fans that do it, that don't think he's that great, that whenever he has a bad performance, slag him off. Whenever he isn't at his best, go crazy. If you look at this man since the day he played his first game for Arsenal until this moment, he has been nothing short of fantastic for them. So I've never really understood Arsenal fans being against him, annoyed at him, angry at him. Rivals, it makes more sense. It's jealousy. They may say some insane things, but it all surrounds, it's all connected to jealousy. That's it. Point blank. But I saw something last night, and as an England fan, I thought England were great in that first half. We blew Wales away. I then enjoyed my evening. I watched a little television. I had a couple of cheeky drinks. I went to a beautiful Turkish restaurant near my house. I had a great kebab with some rice. It was chicken cheese kebab, some rice, great dressing. Nice evening. Put the phone down. I relaxed. And I enjoy doing that, especially in the international break. Back at work today, though. And so let's see what's going on in the world of football. And the anger towards Bukayo Saka for scoring a worldie. The anger towards Bukayo Saka because he is either back at his best or close to his best was staggering. Especially from people that don't claim to be England fans. They're the funniest people in the world. You always get those guys, I ain't English, might have been born there, might live there, but I don't support them. They follow England like you would not believe. It's like flies around shit. I can't even do it's mad. But Bukayo Saka was great. Scored an absolute worldie. You would expect silence from the haters and jubilation from his supporters. People like me. I'm an England fan. I love seeing it. But I saw some crazy stuff. And this was just one of many. This Liverpool fan here said, Saka's PR is insane. First of all, it was a fantastic goal and a very good performance. And you can see that Saka is getting back to his best with the way he's sprinting, the way he's tracking after balls, the way he's continually trying in games. Doesn't always produce his best, but you can see that attempt to try. I felt there was an element of his explosiveness missing when he first returned after that bad hamstring injury. He then has pre-season, gets another little injury. So it was a little stop-start. But you are starting to see that return. He says, when Salah used to do this almost every week, we all kept quiet like it was a normal thing. What is he talking about? You should see the traction this has got. The better part of 500,000 views, thousands of comments. You're right, bruv, absolutely. Salah has been lauded for his ability to go at a fullback, cut in onto his left foot and curl it into that far right corner, to a point where people like myself are saying, listen, Man United, as a United fan, we don't score half enough goals from our fullbacks cutting in onto their favoured foot, because most wingers now play inverted, and bending it into the far corner. The fact that Salah has been able to do this for 8 years or so at Liverpool consistently is massive praise. It's one of the reasons he has so many goals. It isn't just tap-ins and one-on-ones that he scores very frequently. It's adding those low XG goals, which they're now called, but half chances, those screamers, those opportunities that aren't meant to be goals. It's what makes him and puts Salah into that GOAT conversation. So the idea that Salah gets no praise for doing this, and the idea that Bukayo Saka does, is illness. He says, I'm not even surprised they went as far as comparing him with Mo Salah. Well, if they're comparing him to... Hang on, I've got to get my brain straight here, because I want to make sure I'm getting this right. So Mo Salah gets no praise. Mo Salah is not respected. Mo Salah is not seen as brilliant. Mo Salah doesn't get the accolades for the brilliant things he does. The very next sentence, Saka gets compared to Mo Salah. So Saka's PR is amazing. He gets all the praise in the world, and he gets the attention for being a great player, and that's annoying because Salah doesn't. But in the very next sentence, Salah's compared to Saka, or Saka's compared to Salah. How can Salah not have good PR? How can he not be respected if they're being compared to one another in the first place? It says, if Liverpool had half the PR Arsenal has, Salah would have won 2 Ballon d'Ors. Well, there's an element of truth to this, but my view is very simple. I actually think Liverpool have the best media PR in the world. I don't think anybody does it as well as Liverpool. The issue is that from the day he made his debut until this point, Arsenal fans, Arsenal's media, Arsenal's journalists have praised this kid, built him up, and he's the poster boy. And with all sorts of Ballon d'Or, player awards, recognitions, whatever you want, whether it's actual just recognition from fans or awards that come with it, popularity is a big part of it. The fame is a big part of it. Being the poster boy. Your abilities obviously plays an element in this, but there's always players that fall through the cracks. And Mo Salah, I think, in his first 4 or 5 years at Liverpool, he wasn't Trent, he wasn't Van Dijk, he wasn't Mane. There was other players that were put on the pedestal above him. Henderson. It's only been the last 3 to 4 years where they've put him up there. I think if they would have put Mo Salah as the poster boy from day one, I think he'd already been crowned the GOAT. So this idea that Liverpool don't have good PR is crazy. It's just they didn't make this man their poster boy. United in the 90s, we essentially went, who's the poster boy? It was Beckham. And the club went along with that because the media also picked him. A lot of that was to do with his very good looks, dating a Spice Girl. Obviously, the way he dressed and the way he behaved, he loved the fame side of things. So he kind of became the poster boy. So you had the likes of Ryan Giggs and you had Paul Scholes and you had Roy Keane, who most Man United fans will tell you were the better players. They fell down that pecking order. And that's just what happens at the end, in terms of the fame pecking order, not their ability on a football pitch. But aside from that craziness, what has Salah and Liverpool, and to a degree Arsenal were connected because Saka plays for them, what's that got to do with an England game? Why are England fans sharing a great England goal? Why is I don't mean this rudely. This is the one thing I'll always push back on. I'm not one of these like flag shaggers. I'm not one of I support my country. I want my country to win tournaments, but I'm not a flag shagger. But one thing that's always angered me about people that choose to support English teams is their annoyance about the focus on English players by the English media. And one thing they always seem to forget, and whenever I say this, they never want to talk about it. There are millions, tens of millions of people in the UK that don't support a top 6 team. There's millions and millions that support teams that are not even in the Premier League, but they all have one common interest, which is the England national team, because they're English. Same in Germany, the same in Nigeria, the same in America, the same in Brazil. There is an attention. In Brazil, their Premier League shows will always have pieces on Esteval, how is Cunha doing? They would have done it when Bobby Firmino was there and others. The Germans will focus on the Germans. You tell me Belgium TV that cover the Premier League wouldn't have been focusing on their new young starlet goalkeeper, Lemaigne, starting for Man United? Of course they would have done. It would have been maybe their biggest piece of the night. It annoys me. The reason why Saka gets attention when England play on sort of the Premier League / English side of the football Twitter is because there's a vested interest in how England are doing. Even with the people that pretend not to be England fans are still watching. No disrespect. Mo Salah yesterday, I think, or the day before, became the all-time leading goal scorer out of all African players ever to score in World Cup qualifiers. Amazing. But the British media are not going to push that story. Not because Arsenal's PR is better than Liverpool's, but it isn't a story of national interest. It may be the Liverpool Evening News or the Liverpool Echo. Maybe local television will cover it if you're watching local news. But from a national point of view, there isn't as much interest in that story. And that's not a disrespect to Egypt or the African nations. It's just the nature of the beast. The same as there is less interest in Saka's goal in Egypt on the same night that Salah becomes that leading goal scorer. It's the same difference. But again, it's turned into this Arsenal hatred, this Saka hatred, and amoebas out there will go, oh, you know what? I'm going to stick it to Saka now. I'm going to have a pop at him now because this is disgraceful. And it's just kind of normal. Saka played well, scored a brilliant goal, and if you're following and you're watching sort of sort of the English tweet about it. Of course, you're going to see a lot of attention. The English media are going to tweet about it. The English news stations are going to tweet about it far more than other nations' moments and achievements in an international break. And I don't understand why that upsets people. You need to... Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I don't understand. Maybe I'm ignorant to this and you need to educate me, but I don't get it. All I'm seeing here is a brilliant player who, by the way, just look at his England career so far. And this was put up by DR Sports today. 13 goals and 12 man of the matches. And they did a comparison to Phil Foden and Cole Palmer, two players that I personally think are fantastic, that I think are amazing. And it demonstrates the brilliance of this young man. The brilliance of this young man. And yes, he hasn't won a trophy for England yet, but in terms of his individual performances, he's one of the players that will get us there. And it's great to see him back to his absolute best. And there is no need to be hating on him. By the way, I think I want to see him and Palmer both in the same team. I really, really do, because I think Palmer should have started more for England under Southgate, and absolutely stand on that. But this man's been brilliant. He deserves all these accolades. Drop the hate, please, because it's getting embarrassing now. Really, really, really embarrassing. Hit that like button for us, please, people. Subscribe. Hit the hype button if you could be so kind as well. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.